welcome back to Brambleberry. I've been to the auto parts store to get some parts for the Massey Ferguson, and they had to order the tube for the cooling system. Didn't have that in stock, but I got some other goodies to put on it, so I'll show you what I got. So they had the positive cable, or the one that goes to the starter. They also had a new belt, so I got that. They didn't have a pre-made cable for the negative, and they didn't have one in black, so I had to get a red one, and I'm gonna have to make one myself. They had all the components. I had this shrink wrap here I'm gonna put on whenever I get the ends put on, but I've never done this before, so we're gonna try and figure it out here. But these are little like solder, I don't know what you call them, solder plugs, and they said all I need to do is put them in here. Can you see that? Get a little closer. Put them inside these connectors, heat this up, and then push the wire down into it and let it dry. So I'm gonna do that now, that way this is ready to go whenever I choose to put the battery back in. And we got two different connectors. This one bolts to the frame of the tractor, and then this one goes to the battery. And I don't know, I might put some black electrical tape on this if I really care. I know which one's the positive and negative, so it doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, I've never done this before, so we're gonna see how it goes. It'd be better if I had a vise or something to put this in, but I don't have one set up, so I'm just gonna hold on to it, and I'm gonna heat it up and then push it down in there. See what happens. And there it went, melted all down. Would have thought it would have gone farther up in there than that. Well, it seems like it's pretty tight on there, so I guess we're okay. So wait till that cools, I guess, push that heat shrink up. Alright. So let's get this other end. Maybe you want to see that, if I can get the camera there. Well, I was going to show you that thing melting down in there, but I forgot to hit record, so sorry. But there we go, that one's heated down a little better. This one here, I'm a little concerned that I didn't get it down in there far enough, but hopefully it's good enough, because I can't get it out now. It seems pretty well sealed in. I'll just get this tube put over it, and that way there's no water infiltration. You know, if you're looking to for a how-to video on making battery cables, you might want to look elsewhere. But I think this is gonna work. I hope it works, but there's probably better tutorials out there for doing this. I think it looks all right, other than this big old gap right here. But I think we got enough in there to hold. And just so it's clear that this is in fact the negative grounding terminal that this goes to, I put some extra heat shrink tubing on that, because this is the part that goes up to the battery. Down here it's going to be on the other side of some metal, and you won't see it so much anyway. So I'll know, but if somebody else works on it, then they'll know for sure. But they could just use their brain and go, okay, the negative terminal probably runs to the body of the tractor, so that's the right one. Anyway. Well, the tubes came in for the Massey Ferguson. This was the main offender here that I needed. I also went ahead and, since they had it in stock, I got the upper tube as well. It did have a little damage on it. I was going to try and see if it worked, but now that I got it, I'm kind of like, maybe I'll just replace it and be done with it. Got some new clamps for it. So those have got to get put on. I already put on the new battery cables, so that should be all good to go. As you can see there, we got the positive, negative coming on up there, and I don't have anything hooked up yet because I don't want to hook anything up yet until I get all this work done. So, but that's all set to go. So we got to get the belt put on, and we've got to get the coolant tubes put in. We got to put coolant in it. And there's also some other wires up in here that have been chewed on that I need to try and fix somehow. We'll have to see about that as well. And after all that, if it'll start, then I can get back to this tire, which is what I set out to do in the first place, was to put new tires on the front of this thing. All right, so I don't know if you can see down in there. This is my first obstacle. So I've got to get this belt on, and I'm going to do that actually before I do the hoses, because the hoses are just going to make this tighter in here. But it's got to go around this pulley here for the fan, and that pulley down there coming off the engine. Then there's another one that goes around the, I guess it's an alternator, generator, whatever it is over there. I don't even know if that works. But if you'll notice, this pulley down here on this side where, well, it won't focus. There you go. There's a shaft that comes out there. So it's attached on this side, and there's a shaft. I first noticed this yesterday when I was thinking about doing some work. Actually, I came out and I did the battery cables, and I was going to put the belt on too. And I noticed that, and I was like, are you kidding me? How am I supposed to get a belt on there? And so I just kind of like, it was getting kind of late, and I thought, I'm just going to think on this and wait to do a little bit more research. And on the front of that pulley, you may notice, well, let me put the camera back down there. On the front of that pulley, there are some bolts. So those bolts actually bolt to the pulley. If you remove those bolts or loosen them up, then this front part here slides forward, and then you can push the belt down and get it around that pulley. Also though, there's all kinds of crap down around that pulley that I need to get out of there, because that's gonna mess things up too. So that is probably the first order of business, is getting all that out. The fun part about all of that junk is that, as far as I can tell, underneath that pulley is solid. Like, there's no, it's not open. I guess it's like some sort of protection from hitting the pulley on things when you're, I don't know why. I would think it'd be better if it was, you know, had some area for things to fall down and not collect in there. But it doesn't look like that's the case, unless it's just that caked up. So I've been debating about how to get stuff out of there. I've been trying to like get sticks and like pull things out, and it's gotten a lot of it out, but there's still junk in there. So I think what I'm probably going to have to do is try to get my shop vac out here and stick that down in there and see if I can't suck some of that stuff out. Now, mind you, my power supply is way back over there at the trailer, which I don't know if I have extension cords that far. So I'm either going to have to run a bunch of extension cords together, or I'm going to have to get a generator and bring it over here so that I have some way to run my shop vac. I'm going to use the little 2000 watt Predator for this application and my shop vac. I've never really tried running the shop vac off of that little generator, but I think it should be fine. I guess we're gonna find out. But I really don't see any other easy way, any way of getting all that out of there. All right, y'all. Long pause because I've been fighting trying to loosen one of the bolts on that pulley for 3 hours. I've tried all different kinds of wrenches. I can't get a socket with a ratchet on there because there's not enough room. So I think I'm giving up for tonight. And I either need to get some better tools or a mechanic, or I think that's probably the difference between me and a mechanic. I'm definitely not a mechanic. It's that a mechanic has better tools to work with typically, and they have more of the knowledge and know-how and tricks to get things accomplished when machinery is not cooperating. Well, this is where we're at with the tractor. Had to take the radiator out because couldn't get down in there. Had some great neighbors that came to help. We got a couple of the bolts loosened down there, but the other two are just like too messed up. There's kind of like a bowl under this pulley. I think it's to protect it, you know, from stuff coming up, but it catches things, and it seems like it's probably had like rocks and stuff in there, and it just spins around and hits those rocks, and I think it's what's chewing the bolts up. So we tried getting them all off and just haven't been able to yet. So we got to go to some more aggressive measures trying to get them out of there and just get some new bolts for them. So it's in pieces right now, and it's going to be for a bit until we get this all sorted out. Had to take off the air intake there and the fan and radiator, all that good stuff. Some hoses. It's a mess, but you know, when it's all said and done, hopefully we'll have a tractor that works. I guess this is going to keep stretching on into more videos because it's proven to be a big pain in the butt. You know, we started this all out with just wanting to change a tire or two, and we're way into it now. But you know, if I want to use this tractor, got some junk there, imagine that. But if I want to use this tractor, I need to get working, and that's the bottom line. So we're gonna figure it out somehow. I've asked some good friends some opinions and their thoughts, people who are much more capable of this kind of stuff than me, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna work on it again, and yeah, I'm just rambling at this point because I'm tired. But if you watched, as always, I thank you for watching, and like and subscribe if you haven't and you're so inclined, and most importantly, I hope you have a very blessed day.